should see. Let's hit that. Hello. I think this should be fine. Let's check with our streaming, and we have 0 views expected, and we can go live. Okay, concurrent viewers, we have 1. Hello everyone. Let's minimize this. Well, we can keep it on top, and let's see. Okay, nice. So in this video, what exactly are we going to check? So this is one of the interview use case that is posted online. Again, this is not given to me or anyone else. This is again posted online, stating that this is one of the interview questions that I am going to solve now. Let me do a quick screen share. So this is the question. Read the first name, last name and driver license from Excel and open STVA URL. Okay, this is the URL. Enter license plate number, verify provider name. Click on provider name. Maybe there might be some provider name. Capture initial license date. Okay, let's quickly go ahead and see what exactly are we going to see. Hi Pawan, how are you? Nice to have you online. Do share my live to everyone so that if you are checking for interviews, and this is one of the coding interviews, that's what I understand, that will solve live in YouTube, and I'll also give quick updates on how things are going on in the interviews. And thank you so much for 2500 plus subscribers. That's an achievement as per me. So let's quickly go ahead and see what do we have. I'm good. How are you? I'm good too, buddy. Thank you so much. So let's quickly go to https:// so this is the website. I think RGINIA interactive.org/lookup/index. Okay, let's solve this for non-commercial use. Okay, now we need to have license number. You can also search last 4 digits of social network number, and okay, otherwise okay, we have all these details. We need to have few sample license numbers. Maybe DHP website, some sample numbers if we can have, then we can build this and we can test it. Sample VA DHP numbers. Let's check for them. Maybe DHP website. Okay, non-commercial license. Virginia interactive license. Maybe we can just try it out. Can we get recording for this session? So this is live. This is again in YouTube, so you can go ahead and check this in live. But the only condition is this will be to my so there are memberships in my channel, so whoever are viewing it live can see it live. But if you want to see it after this live or post live, you need to go and check with the Hyper Automator. So this is how you are contributing to my channel, whereas you can also get all the live interviews that I'm solving, and you can do it on your own. So since these are live interviews, this can be of great help to you. So I think Sweta, I answered your question. Let's quickly check with Virginia license numbers. License verification. Okay, we have these. if we can get some numbers, guys, if you can just go ahead and ping me some numbers, I think that would be fine, or else I need to quickly go ahead and check those. And again, this is the question that I got online where I'm trying to solve. I don't have the initial data which I need to build up. I'm going to build up right away. License, okay, license numbers. Format, okay. Let's see. License data, we need to have some data, or prior to that I think we can go ahead and check with some numbers. Okay, let's try 1 2 3 4 5 6, invalid 8, check invalid 9. Okay, that should be some format. Okay, if there are no matchings, we need to capture the matchings as well, license lookup as of this date. But I think we need to go back to check with the number, and to my understanding what we can have is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 numbers we need to have for a license. So quickly what we can do, let's go ahead and start a UiPath studio, and let's see. Okay guys, if you have any questions, and if you are trying for interviews, and if you need, or if you have some queries that you need to solve, just go ahead and put them up in the chat so that we can go ahead and answer them as well. Okay, and yep, so let's create a new process, because I don't want to complicate things and I want to keep it in simple format. What we can say, DHP Virginia interactive, DHP Virginia. Okay, I'm creating this in VB, which I'm comfortable with again. So let's see, and if you have any data related to this question, please provide that in the chat so that we can right away take it out. So first, how can we think to solve this? First, let's see the question again. So this is the question where we are checking with few details, and here read the first name, so we need to have an Excel, so that can be the input. But important thing that we need to see here is we need to first open a website, and after that enter license number and provider name, verify the provider name. So first we need to click on license number and search, and then verify the provider name, initial capture license data. Okay, let's see. So first thing, let's create steps how to do that. So sequence, and in this sequence, so I'm doing this in a complete project manner, so you can easily understand how to code in live sessions, and if you are going for coding interviews, how to do that. First one, open and navigate, open Internet Explorer and navigate to website. Hope you can see the screen well. And the second option, make sure the comments are also important while we are going for a coding interviews, because if you send some code to anyone, if they are unable to understand your code, then they cannot do anything. Enter license number and search. So this is part 2. There can be some typos, you can just ignore them. So this is step 1 and this step 2. So what we can do is either we can use a flowchart or we can continuously use a sequence. So for understanding purpose, let's go with a flowchart so that it can be pictorially easy. Or let's go with a flowchart, and let's add an activity. So what activity can we add? open browser, and this open browser. Now there is some catch here always. So when we are working on some flowcharts, see there you need to divide your code into 3 steps: initiation phase, process, get transaction or get item phase, and process phase, and then close the state. So let's quickly add 4 different sequences inside this sequence. And this sequence, this is like initiation phase, F2. So F2 is a shortcut, initiation. So if you are live and if you are checking for interviews to solve to crack UiPath interviews, and if you are given a coding interview, this is what you need to check. First you need to initiate the things, then you need to process the things and end the things. Okay, so let's also quickly add initiation, processing, and then finally end process. So whatever we start, we need to end it, end process. So again, these are the 3 steps that I would like to say, but we can divide this into multiple workflows. So here let's add open browser. So what can be available in open browser? When we start with the flow, we have this particular URL, like this is the URL that we need to open. So we can choose the browser type. If we don't choose anything, then it will be Internet Explorer. I can choose Internet Explorer as well, and in URL open advanced editor. So let's give it. So when you are going for interviews or when you are trying to crack an interview, what will be checked in the code? See, they will check how you are starting the flow, ending the flow, and how you are commenting, and how quickly you are able to get the things done. Now when I open the browser, so prior to this, what else can I have? If you see the question again, read first name, last name, and license number. So there should be an Excel where it need to read the data. I can create a project. In this project, let's quickly create a data folder, or you can just write an Excel. Let's create an Excel. So this should be a data Excel. And if you have any questions, or if you face some interviews where you are asked for coding to solve a code, you can send me those interview questions. Let's see again, I'm not doing this to get you out of the coding interview or to give away the code. I'm doing this so that you will be benefited by how you can prepare yourself. Maybe the same question you may not get it, but you will get to know how quickly you can solve that. See, I have a data folder, and what can be available in a data folder? First name, last name, license number. So let's quickly go ahead and enter some data. First name, last name, license number, and provider. So these are the details that are required for this query to be solved, or for this example to be solved. If you see here, first name, last name, license number, and what do we need to check? Click on provider number, verify the provider number. So provider number will also be available, and you need to verify that. So that's how you need to check. So we can save it and close, and hit on that likes please so that I can get to know if you are able to understand this or not. And in the processing, what we can do is, see, I already opened it. Each and every time I need not open this initiation phase. So in the processing, what I can do is I can use a for each loop, but before using for each loop, let's go to attach browser. So why am I using attach browser here? So this is again an Internet Explorer. So let's quickly go ahead and open the URL. So this is the URL, and let's attach the browser, indicate it and attach it. So this is what we'll have, and what we can get is we can type in the number. So input type into is what we need, and in this type into what exactly do we have. License number is what we have, so we can go ahead and check. Just quickly go ahead and check with the target so that this will be correct each and every time. So here, see, this is input number 1, which cannot be correct always. So even this will be checked in the interviews. What you need to go ahead and see is you need to add this license number as well. So only the license number will be validated each and every time, not everything. Okay, and then let's go ahead and click on this click activity and just map this search. So as we understood in the initial state that there should be 10 numbers, and let's try to quickly give some 10 numbers. There is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1. So these are the 10 numbers that we want and we are trying to provide, and text was not supplied. I'm not sure why the latest version is throwing this error. It's always asking me to add twice, add the data twice. The data is not binded. That's what I'm seeing here. So when we use this, it should also be updated, and there is a new option for us: settings, design, and use modern for new projects. Okay, slim view for collapsed activities. I think I just don't want to use this all. Let's go ahead. So we opened a website. What exactly should also be done in the initiation state? For example, let's assume that there is already a Internet Explorer open, but how can we make sure that this is the only browser that is always open? What we can use is kill process, and in this kill process I can directly give the name as iExplore. So iExplore is the name of the Internet Explorer process name, so that I can use, and I can end the process, or what I can also do is in the flowchart I can close application. See, I'm doing things very quickly so that you will not get much time in the interviews to crack the interview. Or let's see, close application, and in this close application let's click on Internet Explorer. So this is what we have, and Internet Explorer title is what we have. Maybe we can just click on this, validate and close. And if we have, the problem here is if there is an exception here, what do we need to do? So let's try for an exception, and if there is an exception, what I can do is I can again kill the process, because there is an exception. I can log it and I can kill it. And one more important thing to remember while you are in an interview is you need to make sure you are keeping proper logs. So what do we have? We have the input to search, and this is what we have. Let's quickly run this flow, debug this flow. Let's see. So there is this Internet Explorer open, it will close automatically, and it will open again, and it will try to enter the number, search, and then close. That's it. That's what it will do. So let's go ahead and add this. Okay, now we understood that upon entering the details we are not getting results. Search results is no matching. So what exactly should we need to do? See, whenever there is an exception, there is also some data provided. If the date is less than 5 years, okay. If the date is greater than this, okay. See, though there is no detail that is provided for you to update the exceptions or to check with the exceptions, you need to make sure you are properly handling the things. Okay. So here when we are getting this, the search result is sorry, no match found. So whenever we have this kind of result, Vajrang, I have a doubt. What if the interface of the website changes every month? So don't automate that websites. But if the interface itself is changing but the key names are not changing, then I think you can go ahead and automate it. See, now when we have this input, we checked with this lookup license number. If this doesn't change, though the positioning may change, then it shouldn't have a problem. Now when we update this, what exactly do we need to have? We need to wait for a result or check for element exist. We need to check if the element, like this particular item. Sorry, no matches found, no matches were found. If we have this exception, then we need to make sure that we need to throw this as an exception rather than keeping this in the flow. So let's keep this in a name. Don't keep divs, don't keep the CSS selectors, because there you will always face issues. And save. Okay, and here if you see here, sorry, no match results found. If this is what you want, or if you can understand that, okay, I don't have any results by this, I can just go ahead and delete this and keep a star. So whenever I have sorry, no matches found, it will be validated and it will be highlighted. Okay, quickly click on OK, and then this will be, let's see, control K, bool underscore no results. So these are no results. Now when we have no results, then we need to use an if condition to check whether we have some results or not. Bool no results. If this is true, then activities, let's quickly add log. See when what logs to add at what point of time. So this is kind of a business rule exception where there is no error, no system exception, but there is a business rule exception. So we can use it as no results, and here we can mention it as BRE, which is a business rule exception, and no results. But at the right side we have few results, so we can write it as this is info and this is results found. So we can also check how many results are found. What I'm checking here is if we can get any sample data. Sample license number, health professionals data service, open link in new tab. Okay, license verification, license database download. Okay, with the first record request download. Okay, so let's quickly get the Excel. Maybe we can check with the Excel. Save. There can be a data where we can check with that. Let's quickly go ahead and update this data. Sample example. Okay, so this is the license number, and I think we just need to work with this. Okay, again this is the sample data where we don't have any data as of now. Data license number. Let's quickly check if we can get some license numbers online. That's a data breach, but let's quickly check. Case decision notification. Okay, DHP health professional data. Okay, let's quickly check. Update information. Okay, does he have a license? I think this shouldn't be given to anyone. Department of Health Professionals. Okay, information we have information healthcare. Okay, Deputy Director DHP Workforce. We don't have the data yet. Let's quickly check. Okay, data ID. We can just check with the license, but nothing else. Let's check with the images. I think these details we can get online. If we don't get it, I'm not sure. Okay. Data. We don't have the data. Do we have the data? Any time? Can we get the data? Or if we can just format and we can do some trial and error and to get the data, but I'm not exactly sure how to get the data. There is a captcha, there is an OCR that can recognize captcha if there is a website asking for every transaction. Pawan, I didn't get your question, but can you capture image with OCR? Yes, we can capture it, but I'm not sure everything will work. ID. Download. Let's go with dark web. Dark web, and what are we checking for? DHCP data. Okay, so change settings. Okay, let's filter and save it. Agree. Latest dark web file, web links. I'm not sure, I don't have the data as of now, so let's quickly check with this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I think this is what we have all around, where we cannot check it. Okay, so I want to stop this live coding now, but since I don't have the data, that should be fine. But what exactly can we do here is, let's quickly do some for each loop. How exactly can we solve this? Use a for each loop for each row. So before using for each, what exactly do we need to do is, we need to read Excel. So this is kind of a template where I'm giving providing you how you can exactly do that, where this is the data and this is the sample data, and here let's keep it as sheet 1 and let's remove all the information, and here let's give it as control K dt underscore data is what we have, and this should be in a longer scope which can be to a flowchart, and in this flowchart what exactly is the error? Okay, the workbook path is data dot workbook path, and here dt data. Let's go ahead and update it this quickly. So this is data, and for each row in data we need to navigate to the browser and we need to type into the value. So if you see here, we have the license plate number, and the license number that we have, it should be the number which can be row of, maybe this is with a column. Let's quickly check this. This is with a column C, but I would like to take this name, so that even if the column number changes, I will have the name. Let's quickly go ahead and update this. Okay, license number dot toString. TY Raju says, can we run multiple Excel macros in UiPath? When I'm using 2 execute macros, only one is getting executed, other is getting executed after completion of the first macro. Yes, I think you can use it, and the way how you can solve it is use parallel scope. For example, keep a parallel activity, parallel, and on the left side keep one execute macro, on the right side keep one more execute macro. Simple. Okay, hit the like button, TY Raju. And okay, we have the value, we got the values, and if it is success, it's successful. If it is failure, if it is, then it will be failure. So at the end we are going to close. So what we can, okay, difference between parallel and normal for each, parallel for each and normal for each. Okay, so if you want me to show, I can show it right away. Okay, the question is like this: what is the difference between parallel for each and a normal for each? Let me quickly do that. 1 2, okay, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 2. Okay, let's quickly scroll this. So if you see here, we have 4 items. Now what are we expecting when we are using for each? We are expecting that 1 should be 3 should be done after 1, 5 should be done after 3, but let's quickly go ahead and see how can we get that. Again, let's go into processing. I will first show you what happens in a for each loop, then I will show you what happens in a parallel for each loop. Let's debug this flow. I think we can go ahead and debug. It's very simple now. Navigate, search, get the value, close. It will not close, it will go to the next item, but I think it should, I think there will be an error because this is a result page. Okay, so are you handling the result page? How can you handle that? See, when we are having this edit selector or license lookup, highlight, okay, close, license number, type into. But before going to that item, I think we need to go or navigate back, navigate to. So we need to navigate back to this particular URL which is in the initiation state, so that we can go back to the first phase where we can just go ahead and search. Okay, we have this value. Okay, so what I can do is, instead of having multiple items, okay, let's keep it and debug. We can also run the file. That should be fine. So now we started with solving a solving this particular example, which is an interview question, but we'll also try to cover some of the concepts. So where we have, okay, 1, I think this is not getting updated. Each time it's updating only, or it's not updating this particular license number. Why is it so? So for each loop we have, and this is the data we have, and let's quickly check. So how can we debug when there is some error? Is let's keep a, in the flowchart, initiation stage, in the read range, we have sheet 1. Let's keep a breakpoint here, debug. Let's see if we are having all the values. We should have all the values. Let's go ahead to this, and dt is null, step into. Now we should have the values, and we have license number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That should be fine. So each and every time it enters, it should enter a next value, enter the next value. So attached browser is where I need to keep the second breakpoint. Okay, so let's continue, navigate and type in the values. Okay, it's having an error, so that should be fine. So when we are working with element exists, see that there is 30 seconds timeout activity. If you are using timeout and it's 30 seconds, you cannot continue further, because each and every time it will wait for 30 seconds. All the thing that, something that you need to do is, you need to reduce it to 3 seconds. Now when we have this, see there is a data row here. What data is coming in this? We have this particular item, step into, step into, step into, okay, step into, okay, step into. I think the data is not getting updated. So quickly what we can do at that stage is, see here there are multiple options. First activate, then click before typing. Okay, and also we can deselect it, and then this is a new option that's available, but let's do stimulate type as well. So when we are using stimulate type, it works 100%, but the input should be supported with stimulate type. So this is one more interview question. How can you decide if you want to use stimulate type or send window messages or don't use anything? So for SAP and console applications, we cannot use type into with stimulate type as well as send window messages, but if basically it should support, if the element supports, then we can use, or else it will throw an error stating that you cannot do it. Okay, see, one more thing is when you are using stimulate type with stimulate type, it runs in the background. If you have seen in the first item, it's just writing everything in the background. So we are able to do this, but what you can see is we are able to complete it with 1, 2, 1, 3 and 5, but let's quickly update this to for each. Parallel for each, it does not wait for the next item to complete, obviously, but it will go ahead and update the values. So let's go ahead and use parallel for each, and we can use the same, which is dt data row. But the only thing that you need to update in parallel for each, if you are not having the rows, is change the type to data row, system.data row. Now you can use this for data table. Okay, what exactly do we have an error here? Complete data flow. Okay, so you cannot use this directly. Dot rows is what we need to use. So for each row, okay, completes data row collection has enumerable. Okay, let's quickly update this assign. Okay, and let's assign this to enumerable of data row. Okay, now when we update this, we need to create this particular item, browse for types enumerable of item mscont enumerable, which is a collection, and it will give you enumerable of data rows, which is a collection. So let's quickly get this thing done. Do you have anything else? Not sure, so let's try. Properties, and what exactly do we have? Let's assign from data dt data dot rows. Okay, let's try to quickly search online, convert data rows to enumerable. So I don't think much. I will just convert a data row into int, convert string, convert. Okay, maybe we can just use convert data table to list of t. We can try this. For each item, data table as enumerable. I think that should be good. Why are we trying so much? Data table dot as enumerable. So this should give me a enumerable of values, and this is enumerable data rows. This is still throwing an error. Collection enumerable to Okay, it's accepting only items. I think there is an error here. Properties type condition expression. Okay, we can use this collection of enumerable. So do you guys know how to solve this? Because I'm not sure, seriously. Option strict on disallows implicit conversions from system enumerable to collection generic. Okay, it cannot convert a generic enumerable to enumerable. Okay, but if I just want to check how enumerable works, let's see how quickly can I do that. Project, let's design new sequence okay, for each parallel. Okay, in for each parallel, let's add for each parallel, and here let's add an array assign. So this should be ARR of items, and let's hit on that variables. ARR of items, this is integer, it's an array of integer, so let's give it to an array of integer. Hit on save, and let's change this to 1 2 2 3 4 5. So I don't want to assign anything, but I think I can just go ahead and update this array of items. So this accepts a list. I'm not sure why it's unable to get the values, but what I can do is I can use log to find the values. So it's not a continuous like it will be random, or it will not wait for the next item to be generated. What I can do is I can just write item, and when I click on debug, the expected result is 1 2 3 4 5, but what we are going to get is output. Let's see, are we going to get anything different? Yep, see here, the first 5 got executed, then 4 got executed, 3 2 1. Why exactly? Because it's not waiting for the previous item to be completed, it's continuously updating with the next item. But if you use the same thing, what we can exactly do is let's keep this aside, or let's keep this along with parallel. So here we can also utilize parallel. Here parallel activity is where we can use multiple things at a single shot, or multiple activities. We can implement multiple activities. What we can do is we can use for each item, for each, so we have for each as well, and here let's also pass the same values, list of ARR of items, and here also let's go ahead and quickly update the same message, but here we'll just add p for each and then the value. Here we are going to add, okay, let's copy this and let's quickly update. What error do we have now? Clear notes string to double. Why? Dot to string. To string, I think this is what we need to add. That's it. Dot to string. Yeah, I think this. So first one gives the parallel for each, the second one gives the for each. Let's quickly debug and see the differences. Okay, see, when we are executing, obviously the first parallel for each is executed, and if you see the result 5 4 3 2 1 is being executed, and moreover this is not in a reverse order, this will not wait, or this will work in parallel. How can we see that? Let's quickly see the time. Maybe we can check with the timestamp. Let's go ahead and update the timestamp, how quickly things are getting updated in parallel and parallel for each. So here in this we can give it as now dot toString. So this gives us the complete date. I think you have to give type as integer correction. I think this is correct now. Which one are you telling, Pavan? Item. So now let's go ahead and update this to now, and let's see what is the time complexity or time it is taking toString. Now dot toString. Let's see how quickly things are getting executed. Let's run this file instead of debug. Let's quickly check with the output. So parallel for each executes everything in 1 second. So everything is getting in 1 second. So how to get in milliseconds? Get time in milliseconds. Anyone are aware of it? Now dot now time till now in milliseconds VB. Let's check. What is this? You are now browsing in Microsoft Edge. This website doesn't work on Internet Explorer. Why I have this error? Control W. I'm not sure why. Okay. So this is what I'm hating most. Let's quickly open Task Manager and kill that. I don't want to have that. Open Task Manager. Okay. What do we have? Internet Explorer. Start. What's on the top? Performance, startup, details. We don't have these details. Where is this edge? Microsoft text. So this is where I hate live streams. Or sorry, I don't hate live streams, but I hate this bloody options that's provided by. Okay, what I need to do is quickly go to text size bigger. Let's go it to 0, 100%. Now things will go back to normal, and then let's see, continue browsing. I said you. Okay, total milliseconds. Datetime.utc now. Okay, let's quickly update this, which we are going to get now dot date time dot now dot to long time. I think this is what we want. I think you have to give type. Maybe I need to update this because you might not be able to see due to the screen size. So let me quickly keep it to 150. Apply. Okay, now it should be fine, and let's run this file. Let's check if we are going to get in milliseconds. Yeah, and if you see here, each and everything is with 11:53 in 1 millisecond time gap, I guess. 1 2 3, and this is also in 1 millisecond time gap. Maybe if we have more data, then we will get to know the difference. Since I'm using only 4-5 items, we are not able to see the differences. But to use this is how you will use. But Pawan, as you said, what did you say? You said something, right? I think you have to give type system collection generic enumerable integer. I'm not sure if this is for the same thing, then let's go ahead and do it. But I'm just checking, why can't we use data rows for the same thing in parallel for each? Properties enumerable, are you saying here system collection generic enumerable? Okay, let's check with this one. Properties system dot collection dot generic collections generic enumerable of data row. What are we having here? See, again this is throwing an error. Now collect from system collections enumerable to, okay, this need to be enumerable. dt data dot as enumerable. No, live failed. I'm okay to have it as failed, but let's see, let's go with some live questions. Maybe we can check with these live streams and I can answer some of your questions. Now let me bring up that pop-up chat. What questions do you have? Let's quickly get those questions answered. Okay guys, any interviews you have attended so far, or do you have any queries in the interviews? Let's see those interviews. And thank you so much for 2560 subscribers and all the members who are supporting my channel through memberships. Thank you so much. And the current live members, what are we planning? If you want me to, what is the difference between normal for each and for each? See, I tried to show you the example, but why can't we check it online? I know that it will run in background, or it will run asynchronously, but I'm unable to exactly explain how you can understand. UiPath, I think there is a video that is created by Anmol or someone, one of our community member, Anmol or Harika. Okay, after executing it will be displayed like this. Guys, any questions? Let's quickly check those questions now. Concurrent viewers, 10 members. Okay, let's change this to yes. One, you attended interviews. How was your interview, and what questions did you face? Great answer. Okay. There is some example in parallel for each zip. Let's quickly download it. Save as. I think we can go ahead and update this here. Show in folder. Extract here. Parallel for each. Expense IT application. CSG FTE. Okay, so I think he is monitoring something. Let's quickly check those, but you can go ahead and continue with your questions. What are your questions while you are attending interviews? How were you able to solve them? Were you able to crack them in the first rounds, or are you still failing, or what might be the reason for you to fail in the interviews? Okay, here we are getting images, current directory. Okay, and area of files, image int counter. Okay, image file. What is this? Int counter is an image. Okay, we are just passing in the values. Parallel for each. Monitor events. Okay, image error. Let's debug this and see what is he trying to do. Image. Which image? Should I click here? Expense it. Images. I think this will fail because the resolution that he added is completely different from my resolution. How can this work? CSG vendor. Are we generating any output? Yes, it is. Why can't we just keep it a bit bigger? Okay, and keep it to left, and let's keep this. Okay, FT clicked. This failed. This failed. Sorry, boss. No way. I cannot deal with this. Let's go with interviews. That's easier. Parallel activity is also not working when I am executing two macros. Can you show us if you? No, I haven't tried it. Raju, I just gave it stating that parallel activity may work, because when I tried with parallel activities, when I want to execute multiple items, I will be able to do that. I don't have an example, but if you have the sample file, send it to my email vajrang@outlook.com. Let me quickly check it and give it back to you. Parallel activities, and what else do we have? Let me quickly go ahead and see. Okay, I think you can see me better now. 6 concurrent views, but you don't have any questions. My bad. Raju, please send me the email. We can check with that. Settings. Okay, since I'm not getting any interview questions, I would like to stop this live stream. But I really hate it when I'm unable to work on live streams. But what can we say? This is what you will face when working in the interview coding sessions. You cannot get all the questions answered and you will not be able to solve everything, but you should also see how you are trying to solve, because that's one of the main factors where you can crack an interview. It's not always the solution, it's how you approach to the solution also matters. Okay, so I would like to stop this live stream until and unless I have a few more questions. I think I don't, so let's quickly stop this. Okay, bye bye guys, see you tomorrow or in my next live stream. And moreover, we have one important video to show you that I have recorded recently. I think hi bro, I have HTML table with text boxes, how to automate it. What? HTML table with text boxes, how to automate it. Sai Santosh Kumar, can you send me the link where I can check it? But if you just have a HTML table, why can't you just automate it with text boxes? You can directly use type into to automate that solution. I don't see an issue. All you need is selectors. Nope, it's client. Okay, I understand. It's client, it's a HTML table. Use proper selectors, or if you can send me a pic, that should be fine. If you are unable to send me the complete image. Okay, yep, I said there is one thing to update, that is I created a video, or if you are using forms and if you want to use dynamic forms, so there is a video that's uploaded from my channel that is especially for your channel, and there is a video that I have uploaded. Where can we get it? Yes, videos. See, dependent drop downs, you can go ahead and check with this video, and here in this I have uploaded the video. Thank you so much for that. So if you want to work with dynamic drop downs without button clicks or anything, you can utilize this. This will be very much easier. Can you explain retry scope briefly? I am new to UiPath. Okay. Okay, simple. Now let's go with the same use case. Maybe I think I can use retry example. So this is for Shanmugam, and let's add retry scope. See, retry scope accepts a conditional value, and let's go with what do we have? Element exists. For example, let's assume that there is an element that you want and that element fails. How can you check with that? Control X, condition. So when this retry scope condition should be executed, that's what we need to see. In the properties, go ahead and check. See, the output can also always be boolean value underscore retry. Okay, this is one of the option, or in this condition we have one more conditional block called is matches. Okay, is match is also something that gives you a boolean value. So anything that gives you a boolean result, that can be placed in the condition. So here the result can be again, this is bool retry. Okay, now input pattern is what we need to check. See, let's assign a variable here. In this, let's give out a value. Maybe I can give your name, Shan. Okay, this value I want to update, I want to add as m. So whenever or every time that this match, my requirement is that Shan should be equal to G, copy, paste. This should be equal to G. If this doesn't match, then I need to retry it. Make sure that, for example, there is an element exists activity, and that element exists, or what we can say is, where can we find this item? Okay, let's quickly go to this. Okay, we want this license number to be this particular item. Okay, DHCP website, this particular item. Now first time it may fail, second time it may fail, but the third time it may succeed. So to retry it without throwing error, we are trying it thrice. So different options provided for retry scope are number of retries, how many times that you want to retry, and for each retry how much time do you need to wait. So this is again in milliseconds. So okay, this is in seconds. I can wait for 3 seconds. So the 3 seconds should be updated like this. Okay, 03. So it should try for 3 times. If it fails, and if it is successful, then it should continue. What we can do is keep a log message. Let's give it as info. Let's give it as success. Okay, if this retry scope is executed, then only we can go to log message. And let's also keep this log message here. Okay, now how can we convert this, or let's see, what are we checking here? We are checking here the input and the pattern. See, the input is a boolean value and the output is also can be a boolean value, or else what I can check is input is Shan, right? Sorry, that is I need to make it outside the scope. So let's go ahead and quickly update the variables. Retry example. So this particular item need to accept some input SHAN. This particular pattern should be matched to what it should be matched to. It should be matched to M. Let's give it as M. So if this is equal to M, then it will be successful, or if it is not M, then it will be failure. Debug. Let's quickly try this. Okay, there is one foreground process that already running. So why is it running? I think that is because of this one. Stop, close, debug. Okay, now this is successful, and let's update this to retry success. Retry scope. So we are trying to update this retry scope. Now let's assume that this is not M, but this is G. So until and unless this becomes M, it will retry. So if it retries thrice and if it is unable to get, see the retry scope, the value is 57. It's executed at 57 seconds. and here it executed it after 3 seconds. This will be executed after 3 seconds. So for each error it will wait for 3 seconds and then it will execute again. But what if we have this as m at the second time? Let's keep a while loop here, do while, and in this do while what I want to do is I want to keep a counter, and in this counter let's add this as an integer, and this integer will be 0. Sorry, this will be 0. But if the counter is, let's keep this inside, or let's keep an ascend statement. I think the best thing to do is this, and in this body, if, let's give an if the counter value will be, if the counter value is greater than 1, okay, then upload the value. So why do we have an error here? The counter is an integer. Browse for types. Where do we have integer? In 32. In 32 is this system in 32, and if it is greater than 1 then do it. Let's also keep this assign statement, okay, and let's also keep this log statement. Where is this log? Okay, let's give out this log. Okay, so what are we expecting? After the second item this should be successful. So let's also update retry scope and the counter and the counter dot toString should give me the current counter value. So what else do we have? It will be g, and if it is greater than 1 it will be m, or if it is greater than or equal then also it should be 1 or m. Let's update this. Here we already have the condition in this particular item in the properties. Okay, the condition I didn't end it. So counter value, now I need to update the counter. That's one more thing that I need to do. Counter, just increment the counter. Counter is counter plus 1, counter plus 1. So what exactly I am trying to do? I am trying to make it fail for 2 times, then I can make it successful. And here what exactly do I need to write? This should fail. As long as this is successful then it should continue. So counter, if the counter, I think the value is not in the scope, so let me quickly update this to, I try example, give it a global scope to, for example, counter is less than 4. If the counter is less than 4, just go ahead and update. In the variables I am updating this to 0. So it will be failed after the first item. Or let's see, design debug retry scope 0th time it failed, but at the second time retry scope it is successful, and it is throwing a success message. See here. Now what did this do in the retry scope? It checked for this particular item ascend statement and it did update, but If it is greater than counter 1 or greater than or equal to 1, it is successful. But let's keep it to 2 so that I can see more values. 2. But the issue that I'm seeing here with my code here is, even if it is failure, but it will be successful. For example, in this do while loop, it will always be greater than 2 because it's looping inside. So what I can do, I can keep it outside the while loop. Retry scope, do while loop I have, and in this retry scope let's do while. Okay, so this is assigning to M, and this can be updated in this do while retry scope. If can be, if the counter is 0, then update. Hope you are understanding this. If not, I'll try to explain this after the code is completed. Okay, I have a do while loop where it's incrementing, but this do while loop will continuously execute, and if it is 2 only, then it will be successful. So in this body, I think I can keep it here. Here is the retry scope, but the issue with retry scope here is, if this is an error, it will throw an exception. Okay, so control T, exception, and here let's give it a log message. So I'm just trying to continue even if there is an exception. So bool error message is message, and whatever the exception dot message, this is what I want. So let's quickly check this retry sample. We have a do while loop which will continuously update a value. Initially the value will be did I execute or update something? Retry scope. So let's quickly update it on the top about do while loop. So it will start from G, but if it is equal to M, only then it is true. So see here, though this do while will be executed, this will continuously try for 3 times. Debug this can help you. First one, it's going into retry scope, it's trying in retry scope for 3 times, and it's failed, action failed to execute as expected. Then it's updated to 1. Okay, now it's again trying for the 3rd time. Now it is successful. See, there are other items as well. We can check. How can we check? This is retry scope. Okay, let me bring it back to you in top. So this is while the counter value is 0, and this value, or what we can also do is, let's quickly add shan values as well. Counter plus shan plus shan. I just want to increment this to all my logs so that we can get to know what is the current value, what is the current value, and what is the updated value. Let's shan. Okay, this is the counter again. Where is my counter? So this is retry scope, and here let's just update the counter. Okay, retry scope counter shan. I think this should be fine. We are getting the counter as well. This debug. Okay, I think I just need to update something. Retry scope 1 and G is something. See, whenever it is M, only then it is successful. This retry scope is M, only then it is successful. But what's happening is, even if it is M, it is executing for the next time because of the do while loop or do while block. So here the counter we have, we can just copy it here and update it here. This is the counter value, not retry scope. This is do while block. Do while plus counter, then here this is not do while, this is if condition, if scope counter value, and this is try catch block, and here we have try catch scope. Since we have everything at one place, we are confused where exactly things are, but now this will be correct. See, this retry scope is executing once, twice, thrice, and then failing, and 1, 2, 3. So whenever there is an exception, it will check 3 times. It will not fail at that point, but it will check for 3 times. See, do while when it's changed to 1, if it's checked, since it is not correct, it checked for 3 times, but action failed. Then if it is 3, then the value changed to M. Do while executed only once, and retry scope also executed only once, and at the end it is successful. I hope I am able to understand, I am able to help you out. But if you are not able to see it, whatever I built, try to build on your own, you will be able to easily understand. Okay, Shanmugam, let's see some questions again. Okay, I think we spent enough time today on live. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Do share, subscribe to my channel, and also do join my memberships. That's how I will get to know the support that you are going to give me. And do hit that like buttons, and let's see. For now, I am ending the stream. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.